Hello everyone and welcome to the Week 6 recap of the North American LCS. So this was a very interesting week, as I stated last week. These games all look very interesting since the standings are so tight-knit right now. So at the end of the week we have Echo Fox in sole first place still by one game, Cloud9 in second, and then we have a three-way tie for third place, and then it drops all the way down to sixth place TSM. So that is what we're looking at for the playoffs right now. And yeah, it was just a really interesting week overall. And it seems like the playoffs are smaller amount of teams than usual, just because they're all so close. So we'll just get right into the weekly recap for what happened in the games. So first place, Echo Fox, they went 1-1 this week. So they had a very weird comp against TSM on Saturday. So obviously, TSM played extremely well. The Galio pick and the Camille pick was just too much lockdown for Alltech to do anything as an AD carry, but they had Adrian on Zillion, and they had Fiora mid pick, which it just didn't really do anything. They tried to pull like a 1-3-1 maybe off against the Galio and Camille team, which obviously with so much engage, it's just not going to work, especially if you get behind. So that was it looked really bad when they got behind, so that just wasn't too good of a look. Even though Huni did almost solo carry that game several times, killing the backline, it just wasn't enough, and the team was too heavy there. Moving on to their second game against Team Liquid, they actually dumpstered. So if you guys didn't see it, they got to 20 minutes, and they were just slightly ahead, and then they got Baron, and within that, Baron was all they needed. They aced Team Liquid and they just ended at like 22.5 minutes. So the big thing with this is Baron gives flat attack damage and flat ability power. So in the early game like that, it's extremely powerful and adds to your fighting immensely, where in the late game that doesn't do that much, like percentage and damage wise. So that's why that looked so strong in that fight where they aced them. I think it was a perfect ace, and especially with the Yasuo top lane with the Gnar counter pick, they peeled down Baron really fast, and they peeled down the turrets with a really good fight with Baron after that. So yeah, really weird game for Team Liquid. They just didn't look very good, but yeah, good game for Echo Fox. Looked extremely strong before 25 minutes. Moving on to Cloud9. So they also went 1-1 this week. They lost against was it 100 Thieves? So Aphromoo played Thresh, which he hasn't played in a very long time, and he definitely solo carried that game. He had a bunch of very nice hooks, waited out the hook, and just made Cloud9 play around them, and it just overall went very well. And especially Licorice in the top lane in the 100 Thieves game just did not look too hot. So yeah, rough game for Cloud9. They pretty much got dumpstered, so not too great of a look for them. And their second game was against Clutch Gaming. Licorice almost got killed. He played Kled. He almost got killed by Camille, who was played by Solo, but then got a clutch remount and ended up living. So then that early game that Camille has on Kled wasn't enough, and then Kled just went off and he got like 3 kills, I think, after that, and just a very well-played game by Licorice with a few ganks just made it extremely easy. So overall, Licorice still looking good. Just the bot lane in the 100 Thieves game definitely looked a little rough with that Thresh pick. Moving on to Clutch Gaming. So they have moved into the top of the tie for third place. So they went 1-1 as well this week. Their first game on Saturday was against CLG. It was a very sketchy game. They looked awesome until about like 25 minutes. Then Fabibin, who was playing Azir, got caught, I think, in 2 fights in a row, and actually gave them Baron almost. I don't remember who actually got the Baron, but either way, CLG almost pulled it out. But if Fabibin didn't get caught those 2 fights, it would have been a pretty good game by Clutch. So still not too worrying. Everyone will have their bad games, and Azir obviously is a big part of a team comp. So if you can't fight around the Azir, then it's probably going to turn out to be a bad fight and extend the game longer. But they still won, so that is obviously good. And Solo played very well in the CLG game as well. I think his final score was actually pretty good as well, like 5-0-10 or 5-1-0-10 or something like that. So pretty good. I think he went deathless. And second game, they played against Cloud9. That was that rough game that I was talking about. That Kled just got super fed in the first 20 minutes. So, yeah, it was pretty much done for from there. Overall, Cloud9's looking strong, so not too much to worry about for Clutch Gaming fans. And they're still definitely close teams. It was just who was better on that day, Cloud9 or Clutch Gaming. Moving on to 100 Thieves, they came back with a 2-0. So, I think they were on a 5-loss streak. And then they came back 2-0 this week, which was very cool to see. Their first game, Cody Sun got super fed against CLG, and they pretty much just went, or versus Cloud9, so on Saturday. Aphromoo had some very dirty blitzcrank hooks, and yeah, the FlyQuest game, just lots of hooks. You got Onda flashing out of the blitz hook and then hitting Wild Turtle, and Cody Sun got super fed. Actually, he got super fed on both days, I believe, on Vars, but he's playing very well. And then moving on back to the Saturday game, they played against, where are they? Cloud9, and that's where they won with the Thresh pick. Just kind of threw them off a little bit. And I want to see why teams aren't playing Skarner and Thresh more, because the jungler Skarner can ult them and then just pull back on the Thresh Lantern, which is a lot of displacement. So that seems very strong. So we should see if we'll see any more of that in the meta with kind of the less, like the supports getting a little nerf these days, so it's really widening the support pool as well. And I think that's about it. Yeah, this was the first week Afro looked very good again, so that's kind of cool to see. Moving on to Team Liquid, who is tied for that third place spot. They had their first game against FlyQuest, and it was just a really strong game. Yeah, they pretty much just kind of outpaced them. Pretty boring game to watch, to be honest. I'm just going to move on. And then that stomp from Echo Fox in 22 minutes. I don't know, Impact not looking too great, especially against Huni. Obviously, I don't think anyone looks good against Huni, but especially Impact was looking a little rough. And yeah, I've been watching some of their documentaries, and they seem like they have the right mindset. Doublelift talks a lot about how they finally are on track with getting to figure out what they actually need to learn. They're going to go back to the basics. They came into the season thinking that they needed to learn all these intricate things since they're all veterans, but he said within that, the beginning of the season, they started just forgetting about all the basics, like wave management, when to roam, things like that. And yeah, probably just hopefully you can see more success as the season goes on, but we're getting pretty late in the season now, so hopefully they'll be able to turn that around pretty quick. Moving on to TSM, who has sole place of 6th place at 6-6. So they are 1 place behind the 3rd place people, but 2 wins ahead of the 7th place. So they're kind of comfortably in 6th right now. They had their big win against Echo Fox. Bjergsen had a very good game on Galio. I think he went 6-0 and like 10 or something like that. And Sven has been playing a lot of Ezreal, looking very strong in Ezreal, and him and Mithy are looking more aggressive bot lane as well. So I've seen, I think in the last 2 to 3 games, they've gotten the enemy's summoners. I don't think I've seen one solo kill other than, but just summoners. Mithy's looking really good on Braum as well. He made a sweet flash Braum ult, as well as just the bot lane plays. 2v2 they've been doing very well. So I think, yeah, they're just looking super good. And then their second day was against Optic Gaming. Bjerg looked crazy good on the Rise for once. His Rise usually is pretty rough, so it was a nice change of pace. He was blowing people up, and this new patch actually has more mana items, and the solo queue rate for Rise went up 7% from 42%, because Rise is a very high skill cap champion, to 49%. So this means that professional players should be insane on him. So yeah, pretty cool to see. Yeah, if TSM can keep playing like they did this weekend, they should be able to blast through playoffs, in my opinion. Everyone looked rough this weekend except for TSM, honestly. 100 Thieves looked good as well. So 100 Thieves, TSM are definitely looked the best this weekend, in my opinion. Moving on to Optic Gaming. So they had a very easy win against Golden Guardians. Even though Dokla, their new replacement for Zig, the top laner, he was playing a little scared. The analyst said it as well. They still won really nice. I think the final kills are like 16-4 or something. So pretty clean game. Acadians looking very well. Power of Evil had a nice Orianna game as well. But then going on to Sunday, they pretty much got stomped by TSM. They made a last-ditch effort bot to 2v4, and it was just, they didn't even get one kill. I think they got 4v2, like, aced, so yeah, rough there. But Dopa showed a very good early game against TSM, playing very aggressively against Hanser and taking some really good trades is what I saw. So that's is nice to see for the up-and-coming new top laner that I've actually never heard of until he started playing on Saturday. So that was cool. FlyQuest 0-2, they had a rough schedule this weekend. They had to play against Team Liquid and then 100 Thieves. So yeah, hard one for them. Anda definitely had a rough game versus Team Liquid. Just the early game was not what he needed it to be. Wild Turtle is still shining though. Even in these losses, he has really good damage. He is positioning extremely well. So I think Wild Turtle, if FlyQuest just like lets go of him, or if someone thinks of an AD carry, or if a team needs an AD carry, I think Wild Turtle would be a very good contender for being like top 5 AD carry and a very good pickup for a team who needs a veteran, like a non-vocal veteran, who Wild Turtle is. And then the Blitz game on Saturday against 100 Thieves was just very sad to watch. Afro's Blitz was extremely good. Moving on to CLG, they are now 0-6 in their past 3 weeks. Yeah, they're looking pretty rough. They just don't look that coordinated, even though they tried to come back against the Forbidden that got caught twice. It was just very rough. They couldn't coordinate well after those teamfight wins. They couldn't pull off the Azir catch again, and Clutch Gaming just came out with the victory there. And then the second game, which was against Golden Guardians, who he pulled out a Twisted Fate pick, although it didn't look too great. Just Cleanse and QSS is just too good against TF in my opinion. And then Stixay is, even with Biofrost looking extremely good, having good engages, good peel, things like that, and really good positioning for Biofrost as well, Stixay is still just looking so lackluster. I wouldn't be surprised if they start maybe a sub for AD carry just sooner or later, maybe by this, like the middle of this summer, if he's still not performing, because it's just not looking too great. Iffy decision making throughout the whole weekend for Stixay. One example, he just flashed into 4 low enemies as Callista, and Callista can't really blow up people like super fast, so he's just instantly dead. Pretty sad there. And then Golden Guardians got a win, just like I said, against CLG, so that was pretty big. And then yeah, they definitely should have done better against their game against Optic Gaming on Saturday, but they pretty much got stomped. So very weird there, because Optic Gaming is right above Golden Guardians. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty surprising results. I think what we thought 100 Thieves was falling, they're actually kind of coming up. TSM's coming up as well. Cloud9 looked pretty good still. Clutch Gaming looked pretty good. Team Liquid, I don't know about them. They might be dropping a few hits for me. I know they can still pull out wins, but lately they've just been looking rough. So looking forward to next week. 100 Thieves and Team Liquid game is probably going to be super good. And then TSM 100 Thieves. Wow. So 100 Thieves are facing TSM and Team Liquid this coming week, so that'll be tough. And then Clutch Gaming and FlyQuest. I really think FlyQuest will be able to pull out this win if they can keep Forbidden off his strong picks, and get Fly, their mid laner, on some roaming like Talia or Galio. I think they could out macro them a little bit, and if Anda gets going early game. But yeah, that's pretty much the exciting ones for this coming week. It's kind of a cool down from last week where pretty much every game was super exciting. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please let me know if you have any suggestions of what I should talk about. Thank you, and have a good one.
I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.